What is up, YouTube? Unruly here, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, it is the third installation of my Apex Legends coaching series, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about team fights and how you can win more of them, okay? This is different from individual fights, individual 1v1 gunfights, okay? In this video, we're going to elaborate how actually taking 1v1s is incorrect in the game of Apex Legends, okay? Again, Apex Legends, down at its core, is a team-based game. We all understand, we all hate the fact that they hold hands, and you can never get those desired 1v1 fights in Apex Legends. But again, it is a 3v3 team fighting game. So you have to understand, despite the frustration of not winning your 1v1s, that is a team-based game, and the odds of you winning fights definitely are determined by the way you take fights with your team. Now, you always see those high-level pro players, you know, the YouTubers where they solo queue into trios and they wipe all those teams, and you see how they break down teams to 1v1s, because if you are the only one alive, of course you have to break it down into 3 separate 1v1s. But there's flaws to those teams that are being exploited to make it to where they are winning those 1v1s and winning those entire squad wipes, rather than just absolutely all 3 players swinging the solo and wiping them off the map. So, first topic at hand is incorrect 1v1 situations, okay? Then we're going to talk about a system in which Furious Sea Lion, or ex-professional coach Sea Lion, had taught me when I was going through Challenger Circuit and seeking professional coaching. And that is the 3 Fs, which stand for find, fix, and fight. And we're going to go over that engagement thought process later on in the video. We're going to talk about positioning, once again, positioning with your teammates. As you see in the gameplay in the back, you just see my positioning compared to the team. We're working them. You're going to see we're going to be breaking down all those different types of fights, what's correct, what's incorrect, and so on and so forth. Along with that, we're going to be talking about pushing and how that thought process goes, how much damage you take, how much damage you're dealing, whether it's knocks or actual kills before pushing a team. And then we're going to be talking about a very important topic that people really seem to not give their teammates enough time to do, or they don't take the time to do in a fight, and that is resetting. Okay, that is healing, swapping armors, whether that's just finishing looting, and so on and so forth, or moving back to a greater, stronger position that you could take the fight on, because again, positioning is very important. So without further ado, let's get into the first topic of today's video, and that is the aspect of taking 1v1s in a team fight is incorrect, okay? Now, really, why is it wrong? Why can't I take a 1v1 against somebody, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's a 50-50 chance of you winning that, unless you're significantly more skilled, whether that's in your gunfights or taking the positioning to take that 1v1, okay? Now, Apex Legends is a game of numbers. And then you'll hear me say that a lot. You'll see in this entire coaching series, I'll explain that the Apex Legends is a 3v3 team shooting game. It really is. Outside of the Battle Royale and RNG aspect to it, it's one team versus another 3v3, okay? There is no solos mode, whether people wish there was or not. It really isn't. Now, in the game of numbers, you want everything to be always in your favor, right? You want to make sure that it's 2v1s, 3v1s, and so on and so forth, 3v2s. You always want to make sure that you always have more than the other team, and that's either done through positioning mistakes, and so on and so forth. You see the gameplay underneath? My team ends up dissecting this team because they all individually push each of us, and don't actually take a straight-on 3v3 fight. They all push their own separate angles solo, and there's multiple of us shooting at them, and only one of them shooting at us, okay? Now, no matter how good of a player you are, when there's more than one person shooting at you, it is impossible to out-DPS them without using raw movement, mechanics, and simple outplay, so on and so forth. And by then, that player and team is just not that good, okay? So in the fight in the background you just saw there, they just all made those individual pushing mistakes. And that's why it's very important to always have a battle buddy when taking positions. When we talk about the 3 Fs, we're going to be talking about fixes, which will give you guys a diagram and a little core explanation in the background as well, showing you that entire thought process and philosophy around team fights. So you never want to take 1v1s, okay? Because if you don't have help and you go down, then the numbers are swayed in the enemy team's favor, and it's going to be infinitely harder for your teammates to actually win that fight. No matter how good they are, no matter how good you think you are, sometimes just taking those 1v1s is just not smart. So always push together, always swing a corner with a teammate, and take that advantageous number count to increase your chances of winning those fights. Again, talking about positioning is very important, that either high ground is involved or you're in a building and they're out in the field. You're seeing in the background here where I'm sitting on the roof, and then as soon as 2 targets are shooting at me that's no longer a good spot to be in, I go inside and I reset and heal. This entire gameplay in the background is in the 3 strikes game mode. So, and this win, or gameplay, excuse me, this shows a lot of team fighting involved. And my girlfriend, who is playing Watson, we have a lot of experience fighting together as a duo. So you're going to see a lot of trading out, different changes of positioning, and we're pushing stuff together, okay? Now you see I just got a knock there, but we do notice that there's another team involved, okay? So you see even in the kill feed there, they're even trading. So with the knock involved in the team fighting, we know that it's safe to push this building. And because there's already a knock, we already know people are weak. Our random gets a knock, she gets a knock, I get 2 kills there, and that's when this team fighting aspect of the 3 Fs comes into play here. Okay, so we don't push out in the open unless knocks or the third party comes in, right? Those are advantageous positions, numbers are in our favor, and so on and so forth. Now you're going to see, because it's the 3 strikes game mode, these guys are rezzing a lot. It's a conduit team. There was a Newcastle in there. There was a lifeline in there. And after the team wipe, then we go over another topic later in the video is called resetting, okay? And we can touch on it a little bit here because I don't want to bounce off of topics too much. Resetting is basically the down period of a fight, right? So you want to make sure that you're getting your armor swaps or you're healing fast enough, and then looting afterwards, okay? I always recommend that you please make yourself as healthy as possible before looting, because sometimes you're not going to get that opportunity to heal. Now I get stuck at a conduit ult. There's no way of going anywhere. I'm out in the open. This team pushes us for free through the door with the conduit ult. And that's just a numbers game right there. There's no way I'm going to be able to take out those 3 players all swinging me simultaneously with an ultimate in the ground too, so I can't even escape. So the numbers are in their favor. And in fact, there's 2 knocks on our team now. So they should just all push through here. And you're going to see that here, where they both push my girlfriend, and it's over. The fight's over. We get wiped. It was a simple game of numbers. And it was the same way that we wiped them. So again, just to elaborate one more time, don't be taking your 1s. Make sure your positioning and pathing to cover is important. You saw how we pushed that building there and were able to kill both teams. And then resetting involves make sure you are healing. I'm playing Lifeline because this game mode really requires support characters. So getting those reses up as quick as possible, armor swapping, and then getting your guns, ammo, and attachments, okay? That resetting phase can involve healing, can involve backing up, giving teams space to get yourself to a safer position, or straight up leaving in general. Leaving from a fight to heal is entirely okay. That doesn't make you a scared player. It makes you a smart player. If you're not able to reset and heal from another fight, and you're just taking another fight afterwards, you are trolling. So from gameplay aside, we're going to now go over the 3 Fs, which is find, fix, and fight, okay? And that is identifying your targets. That is finding angles in which you can hold space, so you're punishing the team for pushing you, or not letting them push for free and get that number advantage or that positioning advantage over other teams. And then just going about the fight afterwards. Once you break down the first 2 things, the fight just comes down to coordination, swinging with numbers, and so on and so forth. So we're going to go over that right now. Alright guys, so here I have pulled up Paint and we're going to go over what are the 3 Fs, okay? And every time you take a team fight, you should go over these 3 key aspects that you want to be looking for. Now, the 3 Fs originally wasn't even originated by me. It was actually originated by Furia's ex-Pro League coach, Sea Lion. When I was going through challengers, I had reached out and taken professional coaching to help with my challenge circuit runs because I felt as a developing team, there was some things that we were lacking, and this is one of the core aspects of team fighting that he actually introduced to us. Now, the 3 Fs stand for find, fix, and fight, okay? And each of these things kind of go in somewhat of a step process. When it comes to find, okay, the thing is you're identifying the fight that you're about to take. You are finding where all 3 of your targets are. You're finding who is split, which characters are on the team, and their positioning, okay? So basically finding is the information gathering step to all this. Now, Unruly, what is a fix? What do you mean by a fix? Now, in a straight 3v3 fight, okay, and we're going to do a little bit of drawing here for you. So let's just say that we're going to have red versus blue, okay? So here's one person, here's another person. Actually, let's thin this out a little bit more. Okay, we have... All right, so we have red versus blue, okay? Now, in the fixing process, okay, which comes after finding, all about all your targets, their positioning, what legend compositions they are, and where are your targets. Now, a fix in a team fight is an angle in which you are holding the space that your team has and making it an angle in which is punishable to push, okay? So we have our red versus blue, and let's draw some cover, okay? So let's just say there is some rocks here, okay? We're gonna draw some rocks here. Just a funny diagram, okay? Okay. Now, a fix is an angle in which you hold the space for your teammates, or your team in general, and it's a punishable angle to push, okay? So, let's grab yellow. Say that our red friend here wants to make a push onto this blue here, okay? We're going to move our blue guy just up a little bit, okay? We're going to get his rock, and we're going to move it up here a little bit. Or on black. Remove a rock up here, and here's our blue guy. Now, if red wants to push blue here, okay, and we have our blue friend here, okay, in order for red to push this blue character, he has to pass the line of sight of this blue, okay? And if you're paying any attention and holding your teammates, say you don't actually know that this guy is right here, okay? We don't actually know that this guy exists. Let's say that instead of him being there, we have 2 red friends behind a big rock. We're going to have 2 red friends behind a big rock. And this is just to give you a visualization. There's going to be gameplay clips that you are going to see in the background after we're done with this that I'm going to identify core examples of. So if red wants to make a push onto blue, okay, the fixed angle is your blue teammate is watching this space right here. You can see, say your buddy's here healing, okay, and the comm is that I'm holding you. I'm holding for you, okay? So he's healing here. This friend here is keeping track of these 2, whether it's poking or trading lines of sight. The fix is to where if red pushes blue, he has to take damage in order to get to this space. So that's what you're holding here. That's what the fix is, okay? And this is how openings in a lot of fights happen, is where someone makes an individual mistake or is split, and either by angles to hold space or take space, or by sheer numbers, because Apex Legends is a numbers game. And prior to this example, we talked about how taking ones is incorrect, because Apex Legends is a team game. and the aspect of numbers is very important to understand. So if red pushes blue here, his teammate holding the fixed angle to where they can't take the space without taking damage. Say this rock is in here, okay? And red takes that space, attempts to take that space. They're in that angle in which they cannot take that space. And if they do, he shoots him for free. And say blue is finally done healing. He peeks the other side of the rock, and this is where that first mistake in opening that fight happens. Okay, now let's reset the page, or reset the entire field, and show you another example of another fix, okay? And now this can be done with high ground, this can be done with low ground. This is all possible in areas of the map. And again, that's where positioning comes in very important. So again, we're going to have red versus blue. Let's do a lighter blue this time. So we have blue up top. We're going to have red down on bottom. Now let's say that the angles and the fixing again is here, okay? So we're going to do this as, we're going to draw in a building, okay? So in an example of a building fight. Pretty sloppy. Okay, so this is the building which blue team is in, and red team is outside trying to get in, okay? We are going to draw a lovely door here. Now, when we went over this with Sea Lion, we were actually in a game of Arenas. This is when Arenas was actually in the game still. And we played it on the one lava map. Okay, here's your door. We're going to actually get rid of red real quick. Again, this is just to visualize the idea of the angles in which you could take in this game. That helps. That. Now, the Arenas map, I think it was called Overflow. It was a lava one. So this is the center room. This is the center building, okay? So like outside here. Once I can draw properly. So outside here, this was that one room in the middle, right? With the door and the window. So there's a door here. And this is the example of the fixes that we had, okay? So there was the door with the middle room, right? There's a window here that we can draw over real quick. This is out towards the bins. This is out towards the bins to the other side. And this is outside with the ramp, okay? Now, in order to make a play on any of these characters, right, to find the fix that you needed, okay, was built off of how you interacted with the inside room, okay? So this is your straight lineup. This is your straight matchup here. We're going to do purple for lines of sight. These are your matchups, okay? For anyone to make a play anywhere else, they had to cross a line of sight, right? They had to cross a fix. So if anyone wanted to push the center room, right, they would have to cross the line of sight of this player and vice versa, right? So the goal is to get a 2v1 in this situation. Okay, and there's a door here. Often or not, you can break and blow this door off, whatever it is, and that's how you open up the fight, right? So if red wants to make a push into this window and try to take the 2v1 here, they have to cross the line of sight of blue. If they wanted to take the fight to get the 2v1 on this guy, red would have to cross over and leave the door to take that fight here. And then this would just be a 2v2. Okay, so you see the green lines. These are the lines of sights and the fixes in which these angles you have to take that space, but you're going to get punished for taking that space. And then out of the 3Fs, fighting is just how the situation goes, okay? So it is very important to pay attention to the angles in which you're playing at and create those fixes to where if a team tries to push you, they are punished for it, okay? You never want a team to be able to take the space that you control or the space that you are trying to control and take it from you for free or push it. Now, again, in some ability cases like Horizon Q, Pathfinder Grapple, There's a bunch of abilities in which you can take that space back. But those are just examples in which those fixed angles can be punishable. And I'll show you clips of people pushing out, like out in the open. Those are punishable as well. And again, I'm just elaborating on the concept of the 3 Fs. Drawing the example that I gave you isn't the best example to explain this kind of process. But you'll see in the gameplay that you're watching right now the difference between it all and where it is applied and where it is not applied. So I hope the diagram for any visual, like graphic learners helps a little bit. But of course, you have to see that in gameplay, and that's what you're seeing in the background now. Okay, so now I have some examples for you. So in this clip here, you're going to see my girlfriend and I swing 2 separate gunfights here in together. It's just a 2v1 to a 2v1. It's just an example of why numbers are very important. Now this last part is a little bit of a 1v1, but this guy's already flesh. I have a digital threat pushing through smoke. Easy wipe for there. And then we have a random third party there, 2 against 1 again. Again, you see just all these 2v1s happening, and it's just, you can't outdamage 2 people shooting you at once. Now, in the clip with the example with the overflow, this is a perfect example with that. The door, the 2 windows, etc. I'm able to make a play on a character, a person that's already weak, and fly through the window, knock him, and then shoot the person off the door. And then from there, it's just all number games. Here again, another clip where the person's pushing up solo. Everyone fries him for shooting that angle solo, and then you swing the 2 people that are really weak. Again, it's all just a game of numbers. Right there, I actually thought that we knocked both of them in the spray, so that's my fault for that part. But we end up getting the team wipe, and I do end up picking up my girlfriend. But again, prime examples of why. Another part, the Bloodhound, right there, just all solo. These 2v1s, they all add up. They all add up. The damage adds up. Easy wipes. Another 2v1. It's just prime examples of why taking 1v1s in fights is just so bad. Okay. And again, I've been playing with my girlfriend for a very long time. So we develop following each other into fights. Just all the damage just adds up. And if you're knocked, immediately you're able to get picked up here. Again, in this clip, my brother pushes the top of the roof. I'm able to swing with him. My girlfriend comes with me. These are all 3v1s, 2v1s. That Ash had no chance of ever winning that fight. The Horizon previously, look, you're going to see your guy ran down. 2v1, 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 just dissected. Now, we do end up getting third-partied in this clip, too, so we immediately reset, where we talked about before, get back to a safe position to heal. This Wraith has no idea what she's doing and drops into 2 people. 2v1s, 2v1s. It's just all a game of numbers. The Octane pushes up solo. 2v1. All terrible angles. All just easy wipes. You're going to see here, again, where I'm fixed holding an angle with the Sentinel here, okay? So in order to make a push for us, they have to cross my line of sight. I get a knock on a player, and that's when we're able to push, okay? When you're pushing teams, when you're attempting to bust open fights, you have to play off of good damage and knocks, okay? So the Loba I had already damaged prior. You see I did 176 to her, and then I knocked her teammate. So that is 1 person healing, 1 person dead. And all my teammates are relatively healthy. You just push it. It's a game of numbers, a game of damage. Here you're going to see here. Now this clip is interesting. That Wraith is Oxygen Muffins, a professional Apex Legends coach. And then his teammate and duo pushing in afterwards. 2v1, 2v1. And from there, I'm able to heal my random teammates on the other side. Shooting him too. 2v1, 2v1, 2v1. Those are professional players. Those guys get paid salary to play the game. And they make a simple, basic mistake in a public match, and they lose for it, okay? Oxygen Muffins and friends, okay? Professional Apex Legends players can make these mistakes too, okay? It is not just the casual player base. You're going to see in a moment I literally loot his box. Like, professional players. I cannot tell you enough. Professional players make these simple mistakes too. Okay, here's an example where my girlfriend has a knock on a player. This guy pushes me solo, and I'm holding a fixed angle. He has to swing an angle I'm already watching. And here, the Octane and his teammates all pushing solo with my teammate right next to me. And it's just like, it's just free wipe. It's just a game of numbers, and you can't keep up with damage like that. Now, you just saw core clips and prime examples of why these things need to be practiced in fights, and you are going to win fights more often. Relying on 1v1s and relying on your ability to just absolutely 1v3 is, the odds are just never in your favor. And if you are performing those 1v3s consistently, you are playing against literal AI, either under practiced teams or you are just playing ding-dongs, okay? In a game of Apex Legends, in a game of numbers, you should not be winning those. And you are either following the 3 Fs in each of those 1v1s and exploiting the fact that they're split, exploiting the fact that they're out in the open. You are exploiting disadvantages that they create for themselves in order to win those fights. And to minimize those disadvantages or those openings, you play with your team and follow this aspect of how to take these fights, okay? Now, I know today's video was a little bit long-winded, a little bit repetitive, but I just want to really emphasize how going into fights with this team set philosophy, you will be winning a lot more of your fights. Playing your cover more, playing off your teammates, punishing people who are pushing out in the open and doing stuff. Like pathing with cover and positioning. You're seeing in the gameplay in the background where if I want to actually take an angle and push someone else, I'm moving to the next set of cover. I am pinging. I am communicating with my teammates. Otherwise, trying to wipe an entire server by yourself is difficult. Okay, not everyone is your Asu, your Fades, your TSM Imperial Howls, your Sweets. Not everyone is of that high level caliber. You have top female players doing this too. You have like TSM Janie. You have all kinds of these high level competitive players wiping all these teams, but they are practicing these principles when doing so in order for that to happen. It's just very important that you guys go over all this when you're going through your team fights. You will be winning them more. You're seeing in the background now these guys pushing fixed angles where everyone is like, this is just silly. This is just silly. This is just all silliness. They're all pushing into a room where we're holding angles. We're all fighting together. They're all swinging by themselves. You're going to see the cluster that this game mode, the 3 Strikes game mode could be with ultimates and stuff like that. But they're pushing in a room with my girlfriend, my brother, and I. We're all just stacked in here. They're all pushing independently, and they all lose for it. All solo, all split. It's just, I can't repeat myself over and over again how important this stuff is. So remember, guys, don't be taking your ones. It's very risky. Even right there where I just dropped on that guy, I knew he was weak, but if he healed, or this is original 1v1, I could have sold the fight right there. They could have been able to reset. It was a lifeline. She kills me, goes up, res their teammates. We lose that advantage. So don't take your ones. Communicate and play with your teammates. If it does come down to a 1v1, obviously mechanical skill is very important to keep up with in this game, etc. Always practice your positioning, play around cover, move within cover to take advantageous angles and really push teams. Practice those 3 Fs that I taught you. Again, it is a concept that Furia or ex-Furia Sea Lion has taught me, and I might not have been able to explain exactly how he went through that process. I am paraphrasing it for the most part, so if he does end up seeing this video, or you guys go and reference some of his material and it is slightly off, I do apologize. But the idea behind it is all the same. And then remember, it is very important to be resetting, okay? After you take a fight, grab armor first, please. The amount of times I see teammates rummaging for attachments and get knocked inside death boxes or immediately go down on the third party because they rather chose to pick up a heavy mag rather than grab the fresh armor that's there, please do so. Please heal up, grab your armor at least before going and grabbing attachments, because Apex Legends, everyone gets third-partied no matter what. Whether you like it or not, you are going to get thirded at some point. And don't think any less of yourself if you have to back up or run from a fight to be able to reset, because there is no point in taking a fight where everyone is really, really weak and ego challenging somebody and guaranteeing losing compared to running off, resetting, and then taking that fair fight to where you have the chance of actually winning. So don't make the game harder on yourself. Please reset, communicate with your teammates otherwise. I want to thank you guys so much for the love and support you guys have been showing the series so far. I hope this video was just as informational and supportive as the previous ones. Please, if you have questions in the comments down below, please let me know. I answer them all the time. I love having conversations with you guys. I'm very passionate about this coaching series, and if you guys really do have questions or interested in private coaching, please let me know. I have a private Discord, or not a private, a public Discord server where you can privately message me and ask for coaching. There is a whole entire coaching session where you see all my previous course material, and we can just chat it up. So again, thank you guys so much for the love and support you guys have been showing the series. I know today's been a long one, but I hope you guys found it very informational and you guys learned something from it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Pain, death, nothing phases me.